Hello and welcome to the Nürburgring, where I'm racing the Mazda MX5 Cup series on LFM. I managed to qualify 5th in split 3 and I'm hoping to turn that into a top 10 finish. Let's hope we all get through turn 1. Now we have all the red lights on. They go off and we're racing. I get a decent getaway. Looks like Fran J. Garcia Viana behind me. Got a better getaway. But if you look at the rear view mirror, there's about to be some action there. The red car veers off into the barrier. We'll get to have a look at that a bit later on. For this turn, I decide to stay wide, give everyone enough space to get through. Don't want to win the race in turn 1. So we get through, all safe, slot back into the 5th position. Behind Christoph Hies. He gets a good drive out of the stadium section. Makes a go for the position of Carlos Peralta in 4th, and he's able to take it. So Carlos Peralta moves from 3rd to 4th, and Christopher Hies moves up into 3rd. My plan is to stay with these cars. I'm probably not fast enough to get past them, but in this position I have a good likelihood of getting a top 5 finish at the moment. Hopefully we get a top 10 finish. I've got Fran J. Garcia Viana still behind me, 0.4 seconds. He seems to be pushing. Let's see what comes of that. Everyone just settling into the race, cold tyres, not making it easy to get around the corners too quickly. These cars of course aren't extremely fast, so it's important to carry the momentum through the turns. Any braking errors or riding the curb too much could get a lot of the momentum out of the drive, out of the corner, and you can end up having to defend into the next corner. As we can see, we've been able to build up a little bit of a gap to Garcia Viana behind us. He's now 1.5, 1.6 seconds behind, and still staying with Carlos Peralta as we head to the end of lap 1. So let's have a look at what happened on the start with the red Mazda we saw careening off. So good getaway, but drifting to the left, and the situational awareness just isn't there. There's a car to the left and both get taken out. Back with the live action again. Still behind Carlos Peralta. Staying behind them, and the gap to Garcia Viana on the back is increasing. But Christopher Hies goes a bit wide, and Peralta is able to take the position back again from him, moving into 3rd. So with these two struggling, I'm able to keep up with them fighting. I'm able to keep up with them. Although this car in 2nd position, Diego Batti, is pulling out a little bit of a gap now, and the car in 1st is way off in the distance. So with these two battling, I may have an opportunity to score a cheeky position or two. And we see some things happening here. Carlos Peralta goes wide out of the hairpin. Christopher Hies and myself gets the opportunity to pass, and we put a bit of daylight between ourselves and Peralta in the back. He's now fighting with Adita Survey. That seems quite keen to get past, and it looks like he's going to get past. Christopher Hies is now adamant to extend the gap. much harder to stay with him now that he's not battling another car, and he's already been able to pull out 1.4 seconds ahead of me, which is not surprising, but I've still got a little bit of a gap to Aditya Survey in the back. 1.4 seconds. As long as we can keep that, there's not too much pressure. As we head over the start finish line again. Let's jump forward a little bit later in the lap, catch up with the action again. Still behind Christopher Hees, trying to stay with him, possibly overtake. Been able to catch up to Christopher Hees a little bit. It's now 0.9 seconds ahead of me, but Aditya Survey is still about 1.3 behind, so still not too much pressure from behind. Hopefully I can get a bit closer and apply a bit more pressure, and this is a good opportunity to get much closer. Hees goes wide into the corner, to the chicane, and I'm able to pass on the left hand side. That does compromise my run a little bit, and Serbia also has a good run, but he's not able to pass Christopher Hees. Now to stay ahead of him. Able to pull a second gap, getting into the first corner. Far ahead of me on number 2. And we jump forward. So Christopher Hees is still behind me. He's now 0.4 seconds, and he gets a much better run through the chicane. And he is now breathing down my neck. I panic, go wide into the hairpin, and he's right on top of me. He's in my slipstream, getting closer, gives me a little bit of a nudge just to let me know he's there. I don't know why he didn't go for the overtake on that down the straight, but he stays behind me. He goes a little bit wide into the corner. Still stays with us, but he's turning off. Survey comes through, and Christopher Hees is off the track. He's falling behind. What happened there? So we can see here he's right on top of me, giving me a little nudge, hurrying me along, stays with me into the corner. Goes a little bit wide, has to correct, comes out, and there's no gear from second to neutral, and after that there's a box full of neutrals. Looks like that's the race for Christopher Hees. Unlucky. That does, however, take the pressure off a little bit, but Aditya Survey is right there to apply the pressure again. I'm now in third position, with a gap of 0.5 seconds to Survey behind me. The leaders are quite far ahead, 7 seconds to the second car. I doubt whether I'm going to catch them. Now I just have to keep it on the road and absorb some of this pressure being applied by Aditya Survey. Just the two of us. The car behind him is Carlos Peralta, is 5 seconds behind now, so there's no real threat from them immediately. If I can just keep ahead of Survey, I might have a podium in the future, but there's still 6.5 minutes to go of this race, and a lot can happen. Into this corner I brake a little bit late, go a bit deep, and Survey takes the opportunity to pass. I give him space, there's no use defending. He was obviously significantly faster, and I let him go. Now I just have to stay with him. No more podium, but top 5 is still not bad if I can finish in this position. So let's see if we can stay with Survey as he races towards the chicane. Gets through nicely. I'm able to follow. He has pulled out a second lead in front of me, so I'm going to have to push a little bit harder if I want to stay behind him. Still no real threat from Peralta behind. He's almost 4 seconds behind. Moving forward, Peralta is now still 3.5 seconds behind, but Survey has pulled out a gap of about 2.5 seconds, so I wasn't able to stay with him. Though into this corner, he's comfortably ahead. I'm not able to catch up with him, but it looks like he has some sort of glitch and drives off the road straight into the barrier. What a gift. So I'm back into third place again. Unlucky for Survey. We'll go and have a look and see what exactly happened with his car, because he was comfortably ahead. As we can see, he comes down, start finish straight, takes turn 1, powers out nicely, no real pressure from me behind him. Turn 2 looks good, and over here he seems to have a bit of a problem. It might be a network glitch. I see he was connecting from India with the ping of around 500, so that could have been a problem for him. He did rejoin, however, and he is still in the running in the 5th position now. Carlos Peralta was able to catch up a little bit. He's now 2.7 seconds behind me. I'm way back from the first two, so there's no real chance of me catching up with them unless I get another gift. But if things stay as they are, I'll be finishing in 3rd place. Just have to finish this lap with 15 seconds left in the race, getting through these corners nicely. Peralta in the back, still catching up little by little. Now it's all up to me not to make a mistake, not to take too much curbs. There are so many places in this track where you can just take a bit of curb and it throws the car around. These Mazdas are so sensitive to these raised curbs at the Nürburgring. You have to be very careful. Go around this one. Decent. Not a great lap. See, I'm about 3.5 tenths down on the fastest lap. But I'm just making sure I get it round. No reason to push too hard. There's no real threat from behind, and there's no possibility of catching up with the leaders, so no use in pushing hard and making a mistake. Getting through here quite well, making up a bit of time, a good exit there. Miss this raised curb, and take it. Last chicane, head for the 50 board, brake just after, turn in, look out for the raised curbs and the big bollards. Take a little bit of curb here, bring it in, a little bit of understeer there, but I'm able to get round and take it over the line for a 3rd. Not too bad. Well, that was it. Thank you very much. As you can see, ended up in 3rd position after starting in 5th. It was a good race, clean, everyone involved. Unlucky for Survey and Peralta, but nonetheless, that's racing. Hope to see you again soon.